Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
I cannot hear you. I think there's a problem in the setting. Yes, not try to speak. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskritya
Narayanam Namaskritya
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Tato Jayamudiraet.
Tato Jayamudire.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Nashta Prayeshu Bhadreshu
Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Bhagavate Uttama Shloke
Bhagavate Uttama Shloke
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki.
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki.
Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 23, Verse 19. Archir Nam Maharagni.
Archirnam Maharagni.
Archir Nam Maharagni.
Archirnam Maharagni.
Tatpatanya Anugata Vanam.
Tatpatanya Anugata Vanam.
Tatpatanya Anugata Vanam.
Tatpatanya Anugata Vanam.
Sukumare Atad Arahacha.
Sukumare Atad Arahacha.
Sukumare Atad Arahacha.
Sukumare Arahacha.
Tatpadabhyam Sparshanam Bhuvaha.
Tatpadabhyam Sparshanam Bhuvaha.
Yatpadabhyam Sparshanam Bhuvaha.
Yatpadabhyam Sparshanam Bhuvaha.
Archirnam Maharagni.
Archirnam Maharagni.
Tatpatanya Anugata Vanam.
Tatpatanya Anugata Vanam.
Kumare Atad Arahacha.
Sukumare Atad Arahacha.
Yatpadabhyam Sparshanam Bhuvaha.
Yatpadabhyam Sparshanam Bhuvaha.
Archirnam Maharagni.
Archirnam Maharagni.
Tatpatanya Anugata Vanam.
Tatpatanya Anugata Vanam.
Sukumare Atad Arahacha.
Sukumare Atad Arahacha.
Yatpadbhayam Sparshanam Bhuvaha.
Yatpadbhyam Sparshanam Bhuvaha.
Yes, anybody wants to chant?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Archirnam Maharagni Anugata Vanam Acha Yatpadabhyam Sparshanam Bhuvaha. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Archinam Maharagni Tatpatanyanugata Vanam Sukumarya Tad Arahacha Yatpadabhyam Sparshanam Bhuvaha. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Archirnama Maharagni Tatpatyananugatavanam Sukumarya Tad Arhacha Yatpadabhyam Sparshanam Bhuvaha. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Archirnama Maharagni Tatpatatyan Maryada Arhacha Yatpadabhyam Sparshanam Bhuva. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Archirnama Maharagni Yatpatni Anugatavanam Sukumarya Tadarhacha Yatpadyam Sarshanam Bhuvaha. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
अर्चिर्नामा महारज्ञी तत्पत्नी अनुगतावनं सुकुमारी अदा अतत् अर्चा च यत्प्रभ्यं स्पर्शनं भुवः. Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Archinam Maharagni Tatpatani Anugata Vanam Sukumare Atad Arhacha Yat Padabhyam Spasnam Bhuva. Hare Bol, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, everyone. We'll go for word by word synonyms. Archihi Nama,
Archihi Nama
of the name Archi.
of the name Archi.
Maharagni,
Maharani,
the queen.
the queen.
Tatpatni,
Tatpatni,
the wife of Maharaja Prithu.
the wife of Maharaja Prithu.
Anugata,
Anugata,
who followed her husband.
who followed her husband.
Vanam,
Vanam,
in the forest.
in the forest.
Sukumari,
Sukumari,
very delicate body.
very delicate body.
Atat arha,
Atat Araha,
who did not deserve.
who did not deserve.
Cha,
Cha,
also.
also.
Yat padhyam,
Yat Padabhyam,
yat padbhayam,
Yat Padbhyam,
by the touch of whose feet.
by the touch of whose feet.
Sparshanam,
Parshanam,
touching.
touching.
Bhuvaha,
Bhuvaha,
the earth.
on the earth.
Translation by His Grace इसी भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद चौपाल की दया. The queen, the wife of Prithu Maharaj, whose name was Archi, followed her husband into the forest. Since she was a queen, her body was very delicate. Although she did not deserve to live in the forest, she voluntarily touched her lotus feet to the ground. Please repeat. The queen,
The queen,
the wife of Prithu Maharaj,
the wife of Maharaj,
whose name was Archi,
whose name was Archi,
followed her husband into the forest.
followed her husband into the forest.
Since she was a queen,
Since she was a queen,
her body was very delicate.
her body was very delicate.
Although she did not deserve
Although she did not deserve
to live in the forest,
to live in the forest,
she voluntarily
she voluntarily
touched her lotus feet
touched her lotus feet
ground.
to the ground.
Purport by His Divine Grace, S. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Yes, Supriti Mataji, you can please read the purport.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Purport by His Divine Grace, Vedanta Swami Prabhupada.
Jai.
Because Prithu Maharaja's wife was a queen and also a daughter of a king, she never experienced walking on the ground. For queens used to never come out of the palace. They certainly never went to the forest and tolerated all the difficulties of living in the wilderness. In Vedic civilization, there are hundreds of similar examples of such renunciation on the part of queens and dedication to the husband. The goddess of fortune, Mother Sita, followed her husband Ramachandra when he went to the forest. Lord Ramachandra went to the forest in compliance with the order of his father, Maharaja Dasharatha, but Mother Sita was not so ordered. Nonetheless, she voluntarily accepted the path of her husband. Similarly, Gandhari, the wife of King Dhritarashtra, also followed her husband into the forest. Being the wives of great personalities like Prithu, Lord Ramachandra and Dhritarashtra, these were ideal chaste women. Such queens also instructed the general people by showing them how to become a chaste wife and follow the husband in every stage of life. When the husband is king, she sits beside him. She sits beside him as a queen, and when he goes to the forest, she also follows despite having to tolerate all kinds of difficulties in living in the forest. Therefore, it is said here, Atat Arha, that although she did not want to touch her feet to the ground, she nonetheless accepted all difficulties when she went to the forest with her husband.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tashmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utpadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagan Raghunathan Vitantam Sajivam साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सकललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषाय शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुव एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्रीराधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय हो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसादि गौर भक्तवृंदा। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौतिशे नमः। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। अर्चिर्नाम महाराग्नि
अर्चनाम महाराज्ञी
तत्पतन् अनुगतावनम्
तत्पतन्यनुगतावनम्
सुकुमार अतद् अर्हा च
सुकुमार्य तद् अर्हा च
यत्पद्भयां स्पर्शनं भुवः।
यत्पद्भयां स्पर्शनं भुवः।
The queen, the wife of Prithu Maharaj, whose name was Archi, followed her husband into the forest. Since she was a queen, her body was very delicate. Although she did not deserve to live in the forest, she voluntarily touched her lotus feet to the ground. So, till now, in this canto, what is the name of the canto, fourth canto? The creation of the fourth order.
Maharaj going to back
Yes.
home.
This is the chapter name. The chapter name, 23rd chapter, is Maharaj Prithu's going back home, back to Godhead. So, till now, if we see what we have seen, after Prithu Maharaj met the four Kumaras, in this chapter, what we are seeing, that actually Prithu Maharaj heads towards the forest. He goes to the forest. Forest means which ashram? Which ashram is it called?
Vanapras.
Vanapras. So after his successful Grihastha life, Prithu Maharaj leaves beside everything and goes to the forest. See, when we are doing each shloka, we should also remember the overview of what we have read in the past and what it means for us in our lives. So, Prithu Maharaj heading for the forest is an example of how even the greatest personalities, Prithu Maharaj is not an ordinary person, no, he is a Shaktavesh avatar of Bhagavan himself. Still he heads to the forest to give an example that Vanaprastha has to be adopted. You don't have to stick to your Grihastha life all throughout till you die. And what happens thereafter? He performs severe austerities. We have seen how he was eating trunks, dry leaves, flowers, or just water, or even just air. We are not to imitate him. It is based on the sthana, the yuga. Prithu Maharaj is from which yuga? Which yuga we are talking about?
Satyug.
Satyug. And now we are in Kali Yuga. So it is not to be imitated. See, sometimes what can happen in the garb of saying not to be imitated, we may become lazy or we may try to give excuses. Suppose we want to eat and eat nicely. What we will say? We don't have to imitate the Goswamis, you don't have to imitate the Acharyas. Correct? So what has happened? This starts becoming an excuse for our sense gratification. So what is to be done? If we are saying do not imitate what was done in Satyuga, then we have to do what is to be done in the Kali Yuga, which means follow the scriptures to the words. If the scriptures are saying that going to the forest, performing austerities is meant for Satyuga, we say, oh, fine, thank you so much, not to be imitated in Kali Yuga. But at the same time, scriptures are also mentioning something to be done in Kali Yuga, which we do not do. So our mind plays with us. We have to be very careful. Do not allow your mind to play games with yourself by making these as excuses in carrying out your devotional service. Okay? So Prithu Maharaj has performed already severe austerities, very nice. But then after that, we read in the same chapter that ultimately when he gets into Brahma Bhuta, what he realizes? Anybody? What he realizes in that stage after performing severe austerities? What does he realize? We have read the chapter. What did he realize?
He wants to go back home. No, it's enough.
No, that is okay. He wants to go back home. That is why he's doing all this. But what did he realize after having performed all these austerities? What did he realize?
Best.
Huh?
Brahman stays of
Yes. Then what happened? What realization came?
Jnana and karma is of no use.
So what is of use? What is of use? Yes.
Only
very nice.
devotional service.
Very
Krishna
good.
is the only God.
Absolutely. See, after doing so much austerities, what he came to the realization?
He was sorry about what he asked also, Prabhuji.
So if you read Shloka 11, we are going back to Shloka 11. Okay, let me just put it on the screen. No, it is good for all of us. See, we'll go back to Shloka 11. Okay. So what is Shloka 11 saying? By regularly discharging devotional service, Prithu Maharaj became transcendental in mind and could therefore constantly think of the lotus feet of the Lord. Because of this, he became completely detached and attained perfect knowledge by which he could transcend all doubt. Thus, he was freed from the clutches of false ego and material conception of life. Okay? And that's why, if you see the next sloka also, what it is said? When he became completely free from the conception of bodily life, Maharaj realized Lord Krishna sitting in everybody's heart as Paramatma. He was not even interested in perfection of the yoga and jnana system, and he thoroughly realized that devotional service to Krishna is the ultimate goal of life. After having gone through all the austerities, sleeping on the floor, eating the trunk, eating leaves, eating fruits, eating dry leaves, just breathing air, what was the realization? No need of perfecting the yoga and the jnana system, only thoroughly realize that devotional service is the ultimate goal of life. How lucky we are. How lucky we are that our acharyas have told us devotional service is the ultimate goal of life. You are not required to go to the forest. You are not required to do this severe austerities to realize this truth. And that is why what is recommended? Satovrite. Satovrite means what? Can anybody say? Satovrite means what? Satovrite means what? Which shloka am I referring?
Only truth. Only truth.
Follow the path of previous acharyas.
Yes. Which shloka am I referring to, Mataji?
NOD.
Yes.
NOI.
Very nice.
Tattat karma nishchayat dhairyat tattat karma pravartanat sangatyago satovritte.
Satovrite. Very good. Thank you, Mataji. Satovrite means following the footsteps of the acharyas. See, our work is done. Our acharyas have already taken the pain and shown us, please tread on this path. See, when we go through a village, imagine two situations. One, you have to reach from one end to the other end, and it's all green and fields, and you don't know where to walk from. And you end up getting into a ditch, you end up getting into mud, you end up getting into water. But if you find a pagdandi, where somebody has walked before, and you just follow that path, which is easy? Which one is easy? The first one or the second one?
Following path. Second.
So already things have been done for us. Already acharyas have said, Satovrite, please follow the path. So even going through all these austerities, the conclusion was devotional service is the ultimate goal of life. Very good. Then what happens? So Prithu Maharaj goes through severe austerities. And then he starts engaging himself in complete devotion of the Lord, complete devotional service. And in the process, he gives away his material body. His material body is gone. And he is released from all his resignations. And last two classes we have seen, Mantra Prema Prabhu was taking nice classes that, he followed the process of merging his air into fire, fire into water and all that. And it was so difficult that Prabhupada himself said that the meaning of this difficult verse means this. Means what? Just do devotional service. So nice. This is what we have read till now. Today, and one thing more, it's important. So we understood in chapter 23 that Bhakti Yoga is above Karmi, Jnani and Yogi. Correct? Karmi means what? फटाफट बताइए आप लोग. Karmi means what? Fruitive activities. Yogi means what?
Who is trying to liberate himself.
Through mystic yoga processes, correct? And Jnani means what?
Knowledge.
But Jnani, what is the process? He wants what? What is his objective?
Mental state.
Liberated.
Liberated, that is okay, but which liberation?
Brahma.
He wants to become one with the Lord. He wants to become one with the Lord. So if you see all the three, Karmi, Yogi and Jnani, all three are fruitive in one way. Karmi wants results of his activities, Yogi also wants results of his activities, and Jnani also wants results of the activity. But Bhakti, the one who is doing devotional service, actually just wants one thing. He wants to get the service of the Lord. That may not have manifested in our hearts now. If we are doing devotional service, definitely we have fruitive, ichha, desires in our heart. Hey, I am doing so much of devotional service, let this happen to me, let this happen. But eventually, with association, with practice, you will get rid of it. Okay. Now today.
So, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So, Jnani, he desires to go to the Lord or to Brahman?
Brahman, of course. To one with the, yes.
That's what.
Yes. So
Only
now,
Bhaktas desire to go to the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Even he doesn't desire to go to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Pure devotional service means wherever I am, whatever situation I am in, just give me your service. Lord Rama asked Hanumanji to stay back and still serve him. Correct? Bali Maharaj, you all know. Bali Maharaj is a great devotee, but he never took him to his abode. Correct? So, a pure devotional service or pure devotee doesn't even want to go to the Lord's abode. Just is whatever is happy, whatever makes you happy. Just let me focus on your lotus feet and give me some services.
Like Chaitanya says, no? Dhanamna Sundari.
Yes. Thank you, Mother.
Prabhuji,
No, okay.
Prabhuji, a pure devotee doesn't even get bewildered if Lord places him in hell, third hell, fourth hell, seventh hell. He just wants the service of the Lord.
Absolutely. That is why we spoke about Bali Maharaj, no? He was put in where? Where was Bali Maharaj put?
Patal.
Patal. Okay.
Grounded.
Nice. Now, and see what happens when Bali Maharaj said, how will I stay there? There are so many, asuras. So, what did the Lord do? He himself became his gatekeeper. Correct? So, now today, very important. See, today's shloka, what have we read? We have read the queen means wife of Prithu Maharaj. Name is Archi. Followed her husband into the forest. So we have to understand for us what is the discussion, what is the understanding. Question that should come in our mind is, what is the duty of a chaste woman? What is the duty of a chaste wife? Please keep this question
To
in your
serve
mind.
a husband.
No, I'm not asking this question now. I'm saying please keep this question in your mind while we are reading the shlokas today. She followed her husband into the forest. And follow means what? Follow means what? We have to understand. Because in today's age, Kali Yuga, husband is not going to the forest. But we read, okay, Queen Archi followed her husband to the forest. So, what are we supposed to do as being a chaste wife of today's husband? Follow means what? We'll discuss on that also. And third question is, what if the husband is not qualified? Here, Archie followed Prithu Maharaj. Prithu Maharaj is not an ordinary person. He's a pure devotee of the Lord. In fact, he's an incarnation of the Lord. What if the husband is not qualified? Then what is the duty of the wife? All these questions should remain in your mind while we are making discussion today. What? Number one, what is the duty of a chaste wife? What do you mean by follow your husband? And number three, what if the husband is not qualified? What to do? And then the purport says what? Before the purport says that Archie had a delicate body because she was a queen, she was the daughter of a king. See, in purport, Prabhupada is explaining that at that time in Satyuga, queens would not even come out of the palace. They would stay in the palace. And they would carry out their duties as per Shastras. Okay, this is the duty of a chaste woman, of a chaste wife. So, they were not used to even walking barefoot on the ground. Now, our mind will start playing games with us. And we will now start to imitate. See, listen very carefully. When Prithu Maharaj is going to the forest, we will say, do not imitate. But when Queen Archie is saying her body, or the Shastra saying Queen Archie's body is delicate, she was not even used to walking on the ground, we will now try to imitate. How can I walk on the ground? See, I'm so delicate, I'm a chaste wife. Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes.
So thing is,
yes, Prabhuji.
We try to cling on to something which suits us. We are manipulators. We manipulate. Whatever is not possible for us, doesn't suit us, should not imitate. Whatever suits us, imitate. So thing is, if you want to imitate Queen Archie and argue with your husband, see, I'm a chaste wife. First you will ask your husband, am I a chaste wife? What will your husband say? Of course, you're the most chaste one. I've never seen any lady as chaste as you. Thank you. Then what you will say? See, Queen Archie was not even used to putting her foot on the ground. Why you're asking me to go and buy this, buy that? Please do yourself. But if you're doing that, also remember what she did. She followed her husband to the forest. And she did that voluntarily. Read the purport again. Purport says, although she did not deserve to live in the forest, she voluntarily touched her feet to the ground. It was not out of any compulsion. It was not out of any grudge. It was voluntary. She was happy to do that. So if you want to imitate, please imitate fully. Don't imitate part by part. Anybody wants to imitate Queen Archie? Anybody wants to share anything on that? Huh? You don't want to put your foot on the ground? Mataji's? Huh? But if you do that, at the same time you must be happy in whatever situation you are put by the Lord. So, following her husband. So, purport says that she accepted the situation. So, now we'll do a discussion. See, Prabhupada is saying, in Vedic civilization, there are hundreds of similar examples of renunciation on the part of the queen. Can any one of you give such examples? Prabhupada has discussed two such examples of Mata Sita, how she followed Ramachandra ji into the forest, and he is also discussing about Gandhari, how she followed Dhritarashtra. Any other examples that you can share? Where is a chaste?
Draupadi.
Okay. Draupadi.
Devahuti.
Urmila.
Okay. Let's discuss more. See, Draupadi. So just explain in 1 or 2 sentences, Mataji.
Prabhuji, wife of Mrugareti.
See, whatever example you're giving, just explain in 2 lines. Draupadi, yes, Draupadi, please explain.
When Kauravas defeated Pandavas by cheating, they have to go to the forest.
Yes, very nice. Draupadi followed them. Okay, yes. Next. See, but one thing is there, you have to understand, voluntarily following. See, there is a difference. What is the difference? Ramachandra ji was ordered by his father to go to the forest. He never ordered Sita Maya to go to the forest. But Sita Maya said, no, I will come with you. Correct? Dhritarashtra was blindfolded, but Gandhari always had the option to keep her eyes open. But she said, no, I will also put my I'll also close my eyes. So voluntary is very important. Not that you're put into such a situation and then you're saying, okay, I did that. No, you had the option not to accept that situation. Give such examples. Yes, next example.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Devahuti
Devahuti.
followed Kardama. Yeah, she was also King Swayambhuva's daughter, and the way she followed, she even forgot what she was not even combing her hair, and she lost her weight, and so much she served him. And she being from a royal family, she got married to Kardama, who was highly elevated though. Yeah, so Pati Parmeshwar. Yeah,
Pati
that's
Parmeshwar,
the
yes.
way. Yeah,
Yes,
that's
thank
what
you.
she followed.
No, very
Yeah,
nice.
Hare Krishna.
Very nice. Thank you, Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Gandhari followed Dhritarashtra after Vidura advised Dhritarashtra.
Yes, very nice. Which we have already discussed. Prabhupada has also discussed. Very nice. Next
Hare
example.
Krishna Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Sadhe Pranam. Prabhuji, Urmila. Because when Rama was going to the forest, Lakshmana said, I will accompany you. And then Sita also said to Rama that I will accompany you. And even Urmila was willing to accompany, but Lakshmana told him that no, you stay out here and take care of my parents. And she willingly agreed for the happiness of her husband. She sacrificed.
Very good.
She stayed there.
Very good.
Prabhuji, then you put the question like if the husband is like devotional, then the wife follows.
We'll come to that. We will come to that discussion. What if the husband is not qualified?
Yes.
We will come to. I know that question that is burning in the hearts of Matajis.
Yes,
प्रभु जी क्या आपको तो मेरी सच्चाई नहीं पता है. That is burning inside the heart. We will discuss.
Thank you,
but we will discuss the first part there first. Yes. More examples. More examples.
When Hare Krishna Prabhuji, when Narada instructed wife of Mrugare also followed Mrugare.
Oh, wife of Mrigari followed Mrigari. I was not aware. So that is an information. Okay, good. Wife of Mrigari also followed Mrigari. Okay. So see, there are so much examples in our Shastras explaining, and see Urmila, so nice example, no? Mataji explained it so nicely that for the happiness of the husband, she stayed back. And see, losing the association of her husband is not a small thing. And again, we'll read the next verse also, where Prabhupada is giving so beautiful example of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Vishnu Priya. But before that, thing is, the principle is a chaste woman follows her husband. Now the question is, what if the husband is not qualified? What if the husband is not qualified? What do you think? What if the husband is not qualified? He is not a devotee. He is not into devotional service. What should you do?
Be in the place where you are and do your devotional service.
Okay, no. So let's do one thing. Instead of doing mental speculation, take example from Shastras.
Kalia Nag's patnis. They told
Nag patnis.
They told please forgive and also give me the जैसे आपने उनके सिर पे नाच किया है, हमको कब मिलेगा ये मौका?
Very nice.
Forgiveness. Hare Krishna.
Don't do mental speculation. Wait, Mataji, just hold on.
The wives of the Brahmins not offering food to Krishna and Balaram. Prabhuji?
Hold on. See, as soon as the question was asked, what should a wife do when the husband is not qualified? Immediately we start to speculate mentally based on our situation. That should not be the case. Our life should be guided by three things. What are the three things? Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. Never try to speculate through your mind. Your mind will give you an answer which suits your purpose. Don't do that. It will try to take a comfortable zone. Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. So, we just got an answer from Minal Mataji through Shastras, giving example of Nagpatni. What was the character of Nagpatni? They knew husband is wrong, but the character is, please forgive my husband. That should be your attitude. So don't. Okay, next.
Mandodari Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, the wives of the Brahmanas who were offering the yoga, the yagna, and they didn't want to give the food to the children.
Yes.
And the wives instead gave all the food to the children.
Yes.
Although as patnis, they were bound to serve the yagna as per their husband's desire. But they knew that their duty was in devotional service, and they served the Lord directly. And then the husbands also realized that what their mistake was. That was the...
So they served
sir.
the Lord directly. They did not disturb their husband. They continued to let them do whatever they were doing. And at the same time, now the husbands also realized. Very good example. Thank you, Mataji. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Mandodari. Yes, Mandodari. Please explain, Mataji.
Yeah, wife of Ravana. So despite her husband's faults, Mandodari liked him and advised him to follow the path of righteousness. She repeatedly advises Ravana to return Sita to Rama.
Yes.
She was always telling it's not good.
Very nice.
It's not good.
Yes. Very nice. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes.
Dhritarashtra was blind and he was not actually following all the rules and regulations properly. But his wife Gandhari was, she tied her eyes to follow her husband. But she was on her righteous way. She was the best chaste woman. She was following all her husband's will and desire. But though she was feeling it was wrong, she was also advising him that it is wrong.
Yes.
That she go above that. That is, she couldn't stop him from doing any sin. So she was standing by the side always.
She was standing by his side always. Okay.
Hare
Thank
Krishna
you.
Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Kaushiki and Sumati Prabhuji. Kaushiki is a क्या बोलते लेप्रेसी रहता प्रभु जी उनको तो ये सुमति बोलने के वाले वैश्या करे लग जाते रहते तो मांडोदर मुनि का शाप लगता तो हर हस्बैंड हैज डाइड बट शी इज स्टॉप द कि सूरज नहीं होना ऐसा बोल के वो कंट्रोल करके फिर हस्बैंड को रीबर्थ कराते सो शी इज अ ग्रेट वुमन
Thank you,
हरे
Mataji.
कृष्ण प्रभु जी
Yes. Yes, Mataji. Any other example?
Prabhuji, I know one more. I know one more, but I don't remember. I don't remember the.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Suniti, and when her husband left her for the second wife, like she was still in the kingdom, and then when she had sent her son Dhruva to go to the forest in search of Lord Vishnu, who can only help them.
Yes.
So that she remained. She didn't go
He remained.
with him.
Yes. Yes.
She remained
So see, out of all this example,
And also Prabhuji, she also asked not to think bad about the second Suniti.
not to blame. Not to blame anybody. Very nice. Now see, okay, I think we have sufficient examples. Now let's analyze what we have discussed.
Prabhuji, one more, Prabhuji. I don't remember the name of that character, but I read it somewhere. उसने यमराज से अपने पति के प्राण वापस ले लिए थे. I don't remember her name. And he returned the life.
Savitri Satyavan.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. It's not a direct example, but then where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advised Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami, like being working for the Nawab, you can worship Krishna. So that also we can do, right, Prabhuji? Like externally you can serve very well your husband, but then if he is not supportive, you can always internally worship Krishna.
Yes, Mataji has given the principle now, summarized very well. This is the principle. Don't allow your mind to. I think we have sufficient examples. Now let's for a moment sit back and see what we have discussed. So when your husband is following the path of devotion, follow him. That's the duty of a chaste wife. But what if husband is not following the path of devotion? That does not absolve you of your responsibility of being a chaste wife. Which means what? Which means you cannot say, "Jo karna hai karo, jao, maro, bhaad mein jao." You still have responsibility. And so beautiful examples we just, all of you gave. That then you have to take the lead in your devotional services. And at the same time, be merciful for your husband. Be merciful in the sense, still pray to the Lord that kindly, also engage him in your devotional service. Understood? So we have gotten the answer that what is the meaning, what is the duty of a chaste wife, and one more question will come now, because now we are just putting Matajis on the stand. Now let me put Prabhujis on the stand. All Prabhujis, listen carefully. So Prabhujis are thinking, now we are great. We can do our devotional service and Matajis will follow. Whom should you follow? If Matajis are surrendering to their husband, following their husband, assuming husband is on the path of devotion, and Prabhupada says in the purport that let the husband do all this devotional service and the wife just needs to follow him. But what is the duty of the husband? Is he just free? Is he just free? He'll let the wife follow and I'll do whatever. Whom should he follow? What should he do? Yes, Prabhujis.
Prabhuji, he has to follow the Guru.
We have to follow the Guru, Rajat Prabhu is saying. Okay, we'll hear more answers. Yes.
Involved in the devotional service.
Involved devotional service, okay.
We should allow her to follow this and try to see something good in that.
Okay. More answers. Just think more.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, as it has been said in one of the slokas, a father should not be a father unless he can deliver his family. I would try to read that way.
Yes, please.
So I will take a greater responsibility to make sure that all my family members, some way or the other, sooner or later, in one form or the other, they engage in devotional service, either directly or indirectly, and slowly help in their journey towards devotional service, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Very nice answers. See, Rajat Prabhu said it summarily. You should follow the Guru. Every morning we are doing Guru Puja. What are we singing? Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma Vando Moe Savadhana. Then, can anybody sing?
Yes. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma Bando Moni Savadana Mate Jahara Prasade Bhai Ye Bhavatoriya Jai Krishna Prapti Hoy Jaha.
Thank you, Mataji. Jahar prasade bhai e bhavatoriya jai. Bhavatoriya jai. If you see, Queen Archie followed Maharaj Prithu for what? E bhavatoriya jai. They wanted to get liberated. That is why they went to Vanaprastha, and for that she followed her husband. But what a husband should do? Jahar prasade bhai e bhavatoriya jai. Only with the blessings of the Guru, e bhavatoriya jai. This world you can get rid of this world and get liberated. So what should be done? Follow the Guru. So husbands, Prabhus, don't think that you can do whatever you can do. And as Prabhu said, you have bigger responsibility. A father is not a father, a husband is not a husband unless they are able to take along with them their wives and their children. So you have a bigger responsibility. See, think about a small children, they just have to say mummy, 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 and mummy will take care. Wife, Prabhupada is saying wife just has to follow the husband. But dad gives a bigger responsibility to the husband so that he makes sure that he's on the right path. Correct? So you have to follow Guru. Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. Without Guru, there is nothing. Okay? Now we'll go to the next sloka and read about that. We can do more discussions there. Yeah, Mataji, Supriti Mataji, can you please read?
Hare Krishna.
We have to go to 20, no? Shloka 20.
Yes.
20. I'll read the translation. Although she was not accustomed to such difficulties, Queen Archie followed her husband in the regulative principles of living in the forest like great sages. She lay down on the ground and ate only fruits, flowers and leaves And because she was not fit for these activities, she became frail and thin. Yet because of the pleasure she derived in serving her husband, she did not feel any difficulties. Purport. Yes, Mataji.
Purport. The words Bhartur Vrata Dharma Nisthaya indicates that a woman's duty or religious principle is to serve her husband in all conditions. In Vedic civilization, a man is taught from the beginning of his life to become a brahmachari, then an ideal grihastha, then vanaprastha, then sannyasi, and the wife is taught just to follow the husband strictly in all conditions of life. After the period of brahmacharya, a man accepts a householder's life, and the woman is also taught by her parents to be a chaste wife. Thus, when a girl and a boy are united, both are trained for a life dedicated to a higher purpose. The boy is trained to execute his duty in accordance with the higher purpose of life, and the girl is trained to householder life in all respects. And when the husband retires from family life, she is to go to the forest and adopt the life of vanaprastha or vanavasi. At that time, the wife is to follow her husband and take care of him, just as she took care of him in householder life. But when the husband takes the renounced order of life, namely sannyasa, the wife is to return home and become a saintly woman, setting an example for her children and daughters-in-law and showing them how to live a life of austerity. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyasa, his wife Vishnupriya Devi, although only 16 years old, also took the vow of austerity due to her husband's living home. She chanted her beads, and after finishing one round, she collected 1 grain of rice. In this way, as many rounds as she chanted, she would receive the same number of rice grains and then cook them and so take prasada. This is called austerity. Even today in India, widows or women whose husbands have taken sannyasa follow the principles of austerity, even though they live with their children. Prithu Maharaja's wife Archi was steadily determined to execute the duty of a wife, and while her husband was in the forest, she followed him in eating only fruits and leaves and lying down on the ground. Since a woman's body is considerably more delicate than a man's, Queen Archi became very frail and thin, Parikarishita. When one engages in austerities, his body generally becomes lean and thin. Becoming fat is not a very good qualification in spiritual life, because a person who is engaged in spiritual life must reduce the comforts of the body, namely eating, sleeping, meeting, to a minimum. Although Queen Archi became very thin from living in the forest according to regulatory principles, she was not unhappy, for she was enjoying the honor of serving her great husband.
Thank you, Mataji. So what is written in the translation, the shloka itself is saying, she became frail and thin, which is not a very nice thing. But at the same time, what is written, she derived pleasure and did not feel any difficulty. Isn't it wonderful? This is the position of a devotee. External consciousness versus internal consciousness. Externally, on a bodily platform, she has become frail and thin. But at the level of her consciousness, what is it? Pleasure, ananda, happy. And she did not feel any difficulties. This is Krishna consciousness. When you look at devotees, you see externally, oh, so much is happening, so much diseases, so much pain, he's going to the doctor, taking medicine. Oh, full day he's chanting, see, but still he's so poor, he doesn't have any income. His business is in loss, or he's suffering because of that, he's suffering. So many judgment we make. Even for Vyakti Bhagavat, we make judgment. For Guru Maharaj, when he was asked the question, Guru Maharaj, how do you feel after having so many difficulties in your body, so many diseases and so many problems? What he said, on a bodily platform, I'm a wreck. Wreck means एक टूटा फूटा ship होता है ना, जैसे shipwreck. But inside I'm in bliss. That is the position of a Krishna conscious person. And that is what we should also strive for. See, it is never said that problems will not come in the lives of a devotee. Did Krishna say anywhere in Bhagavad Gita that problems will not come in the lives of a devotee. Did he say anywhere?
No.
Never. He just said one thing. What? That you maintain sthirta, whether there is happiness or sadness. So difficulties will come. But as we explain, this is a famous example we keep on giving. The road is the same with lot of potholes. But the vehicle changes. When you're not Krishna conscious, it's like being on a rickshaw. And when the rickshaw goes to that road full of potholes, there are high chances that you will topple down, you will fall down. But the same road, if you put in a Mercedes, road has not changed. People will still say, "Arey, wohi to road hai, see same road." He doesn't even go to the highway. What is his point of chanting so much? Same gali mein ja raha hai, same tute fute kamre mein ja raha hai. But you are put inside a Mercedes, and you know that the roads may be full of potholes, but you will not even feel, and your car will pass by. Isn't it? That is Krishna consciousness. Externally, so many difficulties may be there, but internally, pleasure and happiness. Because Suridam Sarva Bhutanam Gyatva Mam Shanti Mrichati. Bhagavan is saying, I'm your friend. Chant my name, I'm your friend. Nothing will happen. And that faith becomes so, deep inside, you don't feel it. And because devotees are in the habit of praying, a very beautiful quotation came that when prayers become habit, miracle becomes part of life. Because you're constantly praying, miracles happen. And it becomes part of life, you get used to. People keep on saying, kaise hoga, kaise hoga, kaise hoga? Ho jayega. And it happens. Isn't it? Many of you must have felt, and we'll do a small discussion there, how in your personal life or in the life of a devotee you have seen so much difficulty outside, but inside satisfaction and peace. Anybody wants to share any part of their life or such experiences, outside difficult but inside satisfaction, pleasure?
Prabhuji, my
Krishna,
experience.
Prabhuji, let me tell you,
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Well, I've gone for Navadip Parikrama. 3 times I've done it. 9 days walking, barefooted, sometimes with the socks, sometimes with shoes, because there was so the sole of my feet became totally like blood was peeping up, and so like 9 days in the heat, Prabhuji, so much hot. I got all the dark spots on my face, pigmentations. But then outside it was like that, but inside I was like, even today if I remember, I feel the pleasure immediately. The pleasure comes. So it was a wonderful, and it's a wonderful experience.
Very
Prabhuji.
nice. Thank you, Mataji. Anybody else?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Sadhe Pranam. Prabhuji, I have experienced in both my dental colleges. I was the only student who faced so many health problems. I was having renal stones for 5 years, and they were repeatedly being formed. And I used to carry water bottle with me and medicine wherever I used to go, in my lecture hall, in my practical exam, in my theory exam, so that the pain doesn't start and I can consume medicine and do my work. And there were teachers who used to discourage me a lot, and I was the only student who was looked down upon because I was a senior most student. So I was very much discouraged, and during those difficult times, it was only mercy of God that I cleared my dental degree. It was like what happened, one of my pedodontics, my teacher, she said to me that tera to bhagwan hi malik hai. तो मुझे बहुत बुरा लगा. I thought I took it negative. I asked God, Krishna, that what wrong have I done in your eyes? जिसके मन में जो आए मुझे बोल देता है. And then I was sad for half the day. And then afterwards, after half the day, it entered my mind as if Krishna had put it in my mind that अरे इसने तो मुझे blessing दे दी. हाँ, दैट इज अ मिरेकल. जिसका भगवान मालिक हो, उसको तो टेंशन की जरूरत ही नहीं होती. उसके तो सारे रास्ते, बंद रास्ते खुल जाते हैं, बिगड़े काम बन जाते हैं, क्योंकि उसका मालिक को पता होता है ये बुद्धू है, इसका मेरे अलावा और कोई है नहीं. एंड गॉड हेल्प्स दैट सब्जेक्ट टू एक्सट्रीम्स. एंड आई टुक इट दैट सेंस एंड आई स्माइल्ड. एंड वो मेरा पेपर पीडोडोंटिक्स का जो इतना खराब गया था, जिसको मुझे एग्जामिनर को हैंड ओवर करते हुए भी शर्म आ रही थी कि एग्जामिनर क्या सोचेगा, ये लड़की पढ़ती नहीं है, किताब नहीं खोलती, बिकॉज he doesn't know my problems, that I'm facing so many issues. And तो मैंने ऊपर लिख दिया, मेरे दिमाग में आइडिया आया, मैंने ऊपर लिख दिया पेपर के ऊपर ओल्ड स्टूडेंट, और भगवान का नाम लिया मन में, हरे कृष्णा मन में कह के आई हैंडेड द पेपर. And when my result came, my friend is convincing me, Jyoti तू पास है, and I'm saying नहीं तुझे गलती लगी होगी, मैं बहुत कम लिख के आई हूँ, इतने में मुझे कहाँ नंबर मिले होंगे. And 50% was the passing marks. और वो तब आते थे जब पूरा पेपर बहुत अच्छी तरह से किया होता था. And I just don't know, and this happened with me in many of the papers. Some papers I used to just go to the, I used to cry in front of the Lord in the morning that, Lord, these are the chapters I have prepared to full. I have done in depth. And these are the chapters I have prepared in short. So please help me out that जो chapters पूरे किए हैं उनका 15 नंबर का question आ जाए और जो छोटे किए हैं उनके 5 नंबर के आ जाए. I will get passing marks. I'll be grateful to you. And प्रभु जी, I was shocked. The whole paper जैसे मैं बोल के गई वैसे ही 15 नंबर उनमें से जो मेरे डिटेल में थे और 5 नंबर उनमें जो मेरे को कम किए थे. And above all जो 15 नंबर का out of syllabus आया वो भी I don't know how I used to attempt it. कुछ ना कुछ आइडिया दिमाग में आता था, कुछ ना कुछ लिखाती थी, पेपर क्लियर हो जाता था.
The dentist now she will say अभी कौन बोलना है, बोलो मैं दांत निकालती हूँ तुम्हारा. Thank you Mataji. Yes, Hare Krishna. Jitendra Prabhu, you want to say anything?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Every morning I feel this situation too painful to get up in the early morning at 3 or 3:30 o'clock, but it is very bliss inside. एक दिन भी मंगला आरती मिस हो गया तो पूरा दिन वेस्ट हो गया. तो ये एवरी डे ये सिचुएशन फेस करते हैं. एक्सटर्नल पेनफुल है. Yes.
Very nice, very nice. Actually, very nice. Every moment this is a situation. See, it has to be every moment. And that realization also has to come because this is dukhalayam asashvatam. Pada vipadam. Every step there is pain. You cannot live in this material world and say, no, I'm happy. Every moment externally there is pain. But internally it's bliss. That is Krishna consciousness. Thank you, Prabhuji. Okay, any other devotee wants to share anything? Then we'll discuss one final point before we close the class.
Yes, Prabhuji, I want to say.
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Like you guys also might be know, like I'm suffering many problems in home. Like parents are not allowing, and so many things they are putting me out because I wore kanthi mala and all those. But inside my heart, I'm very happy. I'm very, very pleased that I came here, and now I feel like, yeah, this is the way I should go, not only going like studying, doing modeling, this, but this is the best way I found. And I'm very happy. I'll get, like in my home, there is many fight because of it, but inside my heart now, I feel like it's very good. I'm very peaceful right now.
Yes. See, one thing we have to understand, because you are peaceful inside, that should not result in a situation where you are ignoring your external responsibilities. See, human being, we have the tendency to be in a comfortable zone. Being situated in Satoguna means in knowledge and peace, but it's still a mode. You have to get out of that also. Why? For students, if you say, no, temple, Krishna consciousness, very nice, but at the same time, you cannot ignore your studies. You have to go through that pain. You have to listen to your parents, complete your studies. At the same time, be situated in internal peace, but don't ignore that. That is important, okay, for all of us. So, okay, yes. Okay, fine, very good. Now we will discuss a final point before we call it a class. Prabhupada in the purport has said very good thing. We'll just read it. I hope you are not getting late, all of you. See what Prabhupada is saying. Prabhupada is saying that the boy is trained here. The boy is trained to execute his duty in accordance with the higher purpose of life, and the girl is trained to follow him. So, what we discussed, what if the boy is not qualified? You understood? So, if the boy is trained for the higher purpose of life, the girl is trained to follow him. So, girl is not trained to follow any XYZ. Girl is trained to follow a person who is trained to execute his duty as per the higher purpose of life. That is why we read our Shastras that big daughters, no? Daughters of big kings, beautiful, they want to marry Rajarshi. They want to marry a saint. Because the saint is executing his duty in accordance with higher purpose of life. We see, why she has to marry this princess, so beautiful, so rich. Why she had to marry a saint? Girl is trained to follow a person who is executing his duties in accordance with higher purpose of life. Clear? So, this is the thing, yeah? That was the point we wanted to discuss, that boys are also trained and girls are also trained. And after sannyas, Vanprasth mein husband and wife are together, wife serves the husband. But Vanprasth, husband continues, in sannyasa, husband continues, and the wife now returns back to the home, and now she becomes a trainer for the children and daughter-in-law. See, Prabhupada specifically said daughter-in-law also. See here, that he now, what she has to do? She has to train the children and the daughter-in-law. So setting an example for the children and daughter-in-law and showing them how to live a life of austerity. So all the mother-in-laws, assuming your husband goes for sannyas, don't boss around, be an example for your children and daughter-in-law, showing them austerity. Don't show them power, show them austerity. Okay? Thank you everyone. And of course there was a point on being fat. Being fat is not a good sign for devotion. Becoming fat is not a very good qualification in spiritual life. So if your weight is increasing, something is decreasing, your devotion is decreasing. So your stomach is inversely proportional to your devotion. Inversely proportional. Stomach increasing, devotion decreasing. Stomach decreasing, devotion increasing. Alright. Thank you everyone. If you have any question, if you want to add anything we may have missed, please kindly go ahead.
Krishna Prabhuji, thank you Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you
Hare
so
Krishna.
much. Pranam
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna
Thank you so much.
Prabhuji, thank you
Bolo.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna
thank you
Prabhuji,
Prabhuji. Hare
thank you
Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Kalpataru Vasya Kripa Sindhuve Vacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki Jai. Namaste Srilada Thakur. Hare Krishna. Thank you everyone. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
Prabhuji,
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.